Allow me to introduce Mheshimiwa amefika kwa studio. That is none other than the Principal Secretary, State Department for Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises, Susan Auma Mange'ni. A very good morning to you.
Morning, how are you?
Fine, thank you.
You're well?
I'm quite well, actually.
Okay.
Yourself?
I'm happy to be here.
Yes.
It looks so nice, very bright.
Thank you for honoring our invite. Yes.
Purple.
Yeah.
How are you?
It's a good color, right?
Yeah, it's a good color.
Yeah.
I don't know the reason behind it, but why did you choose it?
I guess we'd have to ask
everybody here.
I guess we'd have to ask the people who actually came up with the color scheme.
Okay.
Yes. But
all
karibu
right.
sana.
Asante. I'm sorry I'm a bit late.
Yes.
Hali ya barabara. Hata ungepiga tu simu tuongee nikiwa kwa barabara.
No, we prefer our guests, face to face. So we can extract the information vizuri.
Unisome.
Exactly. Yeah. Lakini karibu sana. So
okay.
you found CT and I talking about the Hustler Fund, and we were just talking about also how private entities such as banks have come in to just fill in the gap perhaps where government is unable to in terms of providing funds, loans and so on and so forth. But let's first of all focus on the Hustler Fund. Has it delivered what the president and his team, including yourselves, had envisioned it would as of today, 2025?
Okay, first of all, let me begin with what you start with in your context, saying that the private sector has to come in and fill. Actually, it's the role of the private sector. It's the private sector that does financing of the business. So when you see government coming in, we come in just to correct a failure, a certain market failure that we think probably is as a result of, let's say, the supply side that comes from our population, because we have a way through which we are supposed to build capacity of our people, address if there is a policy issue. It's only government which can do that and come up with a practice then which can be embedded in the private sector. So as far as Hustler Fund, I've seen there scorecard. Of course, you cannot score an exam that has not been done.
Right.
I want to believe, and an exam emerges from a syllabus that has been covered. So where are we? And first of all, what was the objective of the Hustler Fund? I think it's always good to begin from there. Okay. So the objective of the Hustler Fund was to correct a failure, an existing failure then in the credit market, where majority of people at the bottom of the economic pyramid, or people there huko kwa mashinane, could not be served. Majority of them women and youth who do not own means of production. Usually things like title deeds and stuff are the ones that forms the conventional collaterals that are usually required in the banks. And secondly, the reason why then the banks or that the commercial sector was not serving them is because there was no history. Most of that segment of the population did not have credit history. So you see, in the bank, for them to give you an assessment on your creditworthiness, they look at two things: your ability and your willingness to borrow and pay. Your ability and your willingness. So there's need to be some sort of data, some sort of history that shows that you can do this. So now, this is what was happening. And if you do not have that history that can make them now assess the risk that is attendant to you, then they assume we don't have any history of you. It seems like there's no experience of you. How do we just deal with you? So they cost the risk of dealing with someone they cannot make any reference. So in them is what they usually say, you do not even have a basic KYC. They say they need a KYC. I mean, in the banking sector, it means know your customer. So if they don't have a KYC of you, then you need to start establishing it. So most people there, of course, who have not had first experience in the commercial bank, they will not. So then it means the credit will be costly because then you have to secure it. So then that security now becomes the biggest barrier to that population. Now that's one. Secondly, around the same time, many things had happened in the globe, across the world.
Yes.
Number one, the shocks And anytime you have many shocks happening, the people who get affected most are usually the small businesses or people who are likely to play in the economy at that level. So after COVID struck and the social distance protocol came in, watu wale walikuwa wanapambana na hali yao, our mama mbogas, and many of those people, their businesses went under because now hakuna kuji expose kwa customers. Then of course they came all this thing of high inflation. It affected us. You saw even fuel. The time when we were coming in, fuel was, very high. The foreign exchange was very high, hitting the roofs. And then of course they emerged this war that between Russia and Ukraine. And many times we talk about it, maybe Kenyans will see to affect us, disrupt the global supply chain. Because you see, in this world, we have to export, we have to import, we have to do. So all these things then gets crystallized. And when they get crystallized, then it means it affects businesses. Kama ulikuwa ulikopa loni, inamaanisha unaenda chini, you start not meeting your obligation, and without knowing, and sometimes they'll warn you, you find yourself negatively listed in CRB. Now let me tell you.
Yes.
Once you are negatively listed in CRB, even after you pay, and this is the truth that many people don't know, you remain in default status for a period of not less than 7 years.
No way.
Yes.
I'm telling you.
Yes.
Yeah. So kama ulishaambiwa umewekwa CRB
from any lender, whether it's the digital lenders, banks, SACCOs,
anybody who has told you your name in CRB, whether it was by 500 shillings, whether it was what, and you are negatively listed in CRB, even after you clear, you will remain in that default status.
Why?
And that's how the rules are in a market. It's a market of rules. So then, but this is what happens. So it's a journey. You can easily find yourself there, but it's a journey to get out. Because now, number one, first of all, those financial institutions that caused you to be there, reported you rather, will not be quick to give you a second chance. So that then you start having this practice. You struggle.
I feel like that's
illegal. And now it is not illegal.
I feel like it's wrong.
Because you see, the banks are also protecting their shareholders.
They're protecting the people's money that they have lent you.
Exactly. And so now, so let me tell you. So that was a big market failure. And did you know how many people at the time when President Ruto was coming to power? Almost 8 million people were negatively, and I'm not saying positively. In CRB, you can even be positively listed. Negatively listed. And these are people who are within the productive age bracket. They're doing something, but you pushed yourself there. So what does that mean? Then your participation in the economy becomes defective. Now, how do you drive economy growth without? And that's why during the second week, the first week, among the first thing that President Ruto did, and you can go and check, immediately was sworn in, the first thing he did was the issue of the judges, if you can remember. The second conversation that he had was this issue of Hustler Fund. Because then he called the banks, he had a meeting with the banks, he had a meeting with the telcos who provide channels for digital lending, and they sat together and say, no, this is a big failure. We cannot preside over an economy with these people. We got to do something. We got to be innovative. And then they say, but you see, Your Excellency, these people, as we cannot take them on board, we cannot risk again because we're not so sure. And then so he said, fine, so what do? He said, we can offer technology. We will offer expertise. We can co-create a product. But we cannot put in money. So there are people that Kenyans wekelea hapo pesa. And so, because this behavior, then you have to nurture them. The same way we do education for our population.
Yes.
So we take it upon ourselves to rehabilitate. So Hustler Fund objective was number one, to offer a second chance to those people, to prove, to demonstrate. And we did this we are doing this in partnership with the private sector,
Okay.
so that they can start regaining trust in the people whom they had condemned.
Okay.
Secondly, we said we have people who are turning 18 every minute that comes, you become an adult.
Yeah.
You need a primary experience with lending. So he said we will also offer those people, especially our young people, an opportunity to start building their credit history, having that practice.
Okay.
I know many people have been doing digital lending, but you see, your history there was not counting. The only way you will see that information counting is when you've been listed negatively. That's when it is referred. But here we say now we want to crystallize your credit behavior to become your second collateral.
So, Madam PS, I have a question. And my question is, first of all, the Hustler Fund, we are not saying it's a bad thing, but a lot of questions are around some of the monies that have gotten lost, because there are reports, it's about...
And who are saying money is lost?
The reports are saying that it is 6 billion Kenya
but
shillings.
I'm asking you.
Yes.
Wewe, when you are growing up, huku ambao mkona serikali ni mrefu.
Na tuliambiwa ni mrefu.
You are never told that you can never run away with government thing.
As of today is when?
What are you talking? You know,
as of 7th of August 2025, that is a report that we have. 6 billion
has been lost. There's no money, there is nothing called lost. Have I declared a loss?
You tell me.
No, the question is, have I declared?
Clearly you haven't.
Then,
or clearly you're not
what
declaring
makes
a loss.
people say it has been lost? Now, before that, you've asked me a question, because you ask a very important question, which I don't want us to lose sight of. You said, tell us, have you met your objective? Yes, so far we can say we are meeting objective in terms of rehabilitation, in terms of giving people first level experience, and in terms of coming up with a fund that now can do some sort of credit census. Because the experience we've had in almost now 2.5 years, we have disbursed up to 73 billion Kenyan shillings. We introduced savings there of 5% mandatory, which now it has been mobilized to over 5 billion in saving, both voluntary and short-term and long-term savings. So when you borrow, 5% of your savings goes to where? 5% of your borrowing goes to saving.
So if I borrow 100 bob, 5 shillings goes to
saving. 70% goes to your long term, which is akin to pension. Because you see, there's nowhere we can progress without also saving, without also minding for the future. And 30% then remains there, which then you can be withdrawing. If you look at even the figures that we have, look at how much money Kenyans have been able to withdraw almost from short term.
Right.
And sometimes they save even voluntary. Close to, I think the last time I checked was almost 800 million or so. Meaning you can save and withdraw your money. It supports you in whatever you want. But then the long term is invested for you. You earn interest at the end of the year. And then with that, we want, when you retire, even from being mama mboga, you can retire.
Yes.
Either way. Then you retire to some sort of dignity, back home.
And that's a good thing.
And now, the second thing, we have about 9 million people who borrow, who are repeat borrowers. Meaning they're
constantly borrowing.
Borrowing regularly. And then when we crystallize now this credit history, we crystallize it into some sort of a scorecard or a rating.
The one that we were here
behavioral rating.
Yes.
And today, if you've signed out to Hustler Fund, I want you to tell the listener, dial *254#. Select Hustler Fund on the platform and let me know where your rating is. Because you are either rating between A1 to C3. So we have A1, A2, A3, B1, B2, B3, C1, C2, C3, with the A1 being excellent and of course C3 being
Defaulter.
Very poor. Not why are you calling people defaulter? Why are you calling people defaulter?
So C3 is the poorest.
It's the poorest score showing, and you see this score are very helpful because it's your collateral.
Okay.
Yeah, you want to walk around your collateral, waambie watu sasa hii ni kipande yako. Now uzuri with the score is not like your permanent ID card which you cannot do anything. Hii ukiimprove inasonga wapi? Juu. Ukikuwa hafifu inasonga chini, but
so
it's visible to you.
Join leo, I will start at C3 and I going up, or
yeah, if you join leo, you'll start at C1 because you are a new entry. It gives you C1 because we give you benefit of doubt. So from C1 ukiomba kidogo ukilipa unaenda kwa base limit yetu. So unaingia ile B3.
Okay.
Kisha ingia B3, anytime una nini, hiyo ndio saa ina determine your limit enhancement. Remember, Kenyans were asking, mimi limit yangu imekwama, but tulisema you earn your limit increment depending on your behavior. Si ati nitakuja tu ama tutakuwa tuna every 2 months hapana. Hata hizi digital lendings you usually earn. Yeah, hizi zenye ziko market. So anyway, but what I wanted to tell you also, then umeuliza swali gani umeuliza
the one I wanted to ask is on those people that default on paying, because I know of individuals who borrowed and they have said he's talipa ni pesa yangu.
Ambia individual.
Yes.
Si tuko na isco. Tunawajua. And you know Hustler Fund. It's what identifies the unique identifier on Hustler Fund na ID yako boss. Na ID namba yako. So when you wanasemanga hutalipa, unajiblock.
All right.
What they've done, they're locking themselves from the next opportunity.
Okay.
But also, if you Sean, I told you in the banks that 2 things that are in banking, 2 things that we assess you: your willingness and your ability. So, but mostly is your willingness.
Okay.
So your willingness is what you can crystallize. Can't pay. So there is a can't pay.
There's a question.
Skiza kwanza. There's a can't pay.
And a
won't pay.
Yes.
So won't pay ni wale wenye sijui hao ndio mnapewa sema si hatuwezi lipa. Even if you say so, credit score, we are able to tell those who think that they won't never pay.
Okay.
But you see, itakuwa lama yako. Malipoto unatembea, unataka opportunity ya serikali, won't pay, inaonyesha. So you start reducing trust in you, and the level of confidence that people had in you goes down. So without even taking you to CRB because you don't have to, we mwenyewe unajifunga.
Madam PS, kuna hii story that came out, I think it was Monday or Tuesday, that for every 340 shillings, for every 500 borrowed on Hustler Fund, 340 goes down the drain.
Porojo kabisa. Kwa sababu hao watu hata hiyo study yao is not scientific. It is baseless. It's even good for me to start talking about it.
How much is going down the drain?
Because wacha nikwambie, first of all, we cannot even sit here to be discussing a story which is based on lies and porojos. Hao watu vile walikuwa nasema walitoa wapi hiyo data yao?
Niambie.
Sijui, because they did not even reach out to us.
So is there any money going down the drain?
No, going down the drain where?
According to that report.
But you see,
is there anything going down the drain?
Why are we discussing even the report that I've told you?
But we need to address it nonetheless.
We cannot and if anything, my boss already addressed it.
Okay.
Those are merchants of doom.
But Madam Pierce, in all honesty, even when it is patently clear, there isn't evidence to support the findings or the data, dismissing it doesn't paint a good picture.
Let them go back and do a good work.
That is dismissive.
We cannot discuss premature findings.
Actually, Madam Pierce, we can.
We cannot.
Not in details to give them airtime, but to simply point out and give alternative data which we know to be true. That is a discussion. They should come and look
for the data. What I'm saying, whatever, because there is no way. I have never seen any research. Even if it's this, what we call term paper that we do for the purposes of just, term paper in class that we write. the ethics and the rules that governs research are clear.
So
You must be able to quote sources, number one,
okay.
and be balanced in quoting your sources, be it quantitative, be it qualitative, but not just quoting, especially when we are in this era of
Essentially,
fake news.
it was anecdotal quoting on their part, which doesn't provide any threshold of reliability of that data.
But then how do they make a conclusion in the first place?
First of all, those who reported it in the first place, why were they reporting it? Because when we discussed that same issue here, the question you're raising are the same questions we raised here. I said, okay, so where exactly did they get the information?
What did they tell you?
Yeah. No, we didn't raise it with them. We were discussing it as we were discussing it.
So,
we saw it and we asked them, where did this information come from?
I don't know.
Yes.
What you see, for me, today, you can get any manner of information that you want in this world, whether it is true or not
or
true.
false.
Or false. But it's incumbent of you, when you do a research, you must have an objective. Why? I'm carrying out this study.
And you must state it so that people who are reading it know why you undertook that research. Yes.
Yeah, and of course you come up with your own hypothesis.
Yes, you must.
You draw all those things. But then you must be able to know who can give you the reliability of this information. I want to state here very clearly that there is no day, there is no instance where that body, who knows very well where we are, because if they're defending human rights, so even as we humans, you see, who needs to be defended, they never ever attempted even to approach us in any manner, be it our emails, be it even a letter. And funny enough, last month, as we were gearing towards in June, as we were gearing towards the first anniversary of the finance bill protest, 2024 protest.
Right.
I think it was like a week to that is when we received a letter, and this letter was not asking us to validate, to do anything. It was inviting us, CS and I, CS received, I also received, to go and attend the launch of a report. They did not even call it out. We did a finding on the Hustler Fund.
So you had no idea what it was about?
So what we did, as a very responsible institution who is running this program, we tried to reach out to them. And I have evidence of even email to seek, first of all, to know, okay, fine, how you did a research without us being involved, fine, but why can't you share the report? Because you will come and share the findings. If you want really, if the objective was to improve the fund, because we are saying, for example, the experience that they used, it was like they are quoting the Auditor General's report of 2022-2023, which is not a bad thing, but it was still not conclusive, because you see, by the time you draw a nail to the coffin, it has gone through.
Auditor General's reports often involve what you call audit queries.
Yes, queries.
They are not conclusive.
They're not conclusive.
That is why it goes to Parliament and the relevant committees to now debate it and call people to discover and find the veracity of what it has been reported. Yes.
So that's what they were quoting. And you see, even with that, you see, when they raise queries, you do what we call management responses. And sometimes you may not, by the time, because of the time, because audit reports and their calendar are usually time bound, you may not have an opportunity to have given the information they need. There is still an opportunity in Parliament for you to give your information, and even Parliament to request for additional investigation to be done. But you see now in this case, they quoted that. But interestingly, that report, the fund was just barely 7 months. So we agree there could be teething problems. And because this is purely digital, which requires some sort of data reconciliation, and if you are in that space, you'll appreciate data reconciliation. These are different systems coming together. But then, so some of the issues which they were raising, we had even given management response.
Okay.
And you would have expected, had they come now, even to do validation, would have said, but you see, this issue, like when they were saying for an unborn, an unborn children or whatever, they say, you see, Hustler Fund is disbursed, right? We, as a fund, we do not register, we don't register persons. So we do not register, give people ID. Okay? Secondly, we don't register telephone numbers because it's not our role. So we ride on the base data which is there. But if someone says that so and so, especially now this organization would have really also helped us by going to pick some of the queries and now have practical, because you see there is a telephone number.
Yes.
Where money was, you can trace where was disbursed, for example. They should have taken it upon themselves to trace and find the individual and find out if that individual is born or unborn.
Or dead.
Yeah, or dead. So that when you have this, so you do not just replicate the queries and draw a conclusion.
Okay.
But then the issue of default which you have asked, default is a culture thing in this country.
Unfortunately.
It's so sad. And that's why, through this experience of Hustler Fund, we want to see how slowly we can address it.
Madam PS, I want to just tag on what you've mentioned. When we talk about a program like the Hustler Fund, I am certain that those who created it considered the financial literacy and the levels of that literacy. How do you ensure that we enhance it? Because default has a very direct correlation with the financial literacy of the individuals. Because the behavior that you mentioned is what manifests itself, and it's what tells us about the understanding people have towards or how it is they relate to credit.
Okay, so first of all, let me say this. Yes, there is need of financial literacy, not just on Hustler Fund. It's not just on Hustler Fund alone, and this is something that needs to be embedded even in our school curriculum, number one, and also even in our religious sectors. And if you go to certain economies in the world, even if you have cash money, they first of all go for your credit rating. You cannot buy a property in the US today.
Yes.
If even a vehicle, ask Kenyans who have gone to work there. I know a number of them. Whenever I go there, I talk to them. They say they want to buy a vehicle, but first of all, they look at your credit rating. So credit rating is a culture that we want to inculcate, embed strongly in our economy, so that we give Kenyans an opportunity now to be served beyond the conventional collateral, because not everybody has got a reach. And the experience of Hustler Fund, you see this rating which I'm talking about,
yes,
that's one step. That's a part of financial literacy that we are doing, because we want to put a meaning to your rating. So it becomes part and parcel of your lifestyle. You become so much conscious about if I borrow something, then you must borrow for a purpose. But then let me tell you how we design Hustler Fund.
Good. I was going there.
How we design Hustler Fund.
You've gotten there ahead of
so
me, yes?
We demonstrate. We included, deliberately included, the aspect of the credit rating and the score. This is the first time that we are moving towards having a national score. And that's why the first product of Hustler Fund is not that we never gave thoughts. We made it personal loan, so that we get everybody on board and start working out a national credit score, so that now to start introducing the soft collateral. You know, we are doing policy intervention here.
Yes.
We move away slowly from the hard collateral, or rather hard collateral or conventional collateral of title deed, or pay slips, which not everybody has. And we made personal loan a universal. Everybody. You saw even they were having issue. Why did you make this? Why was someone had even taken us to court early in the fund, saying that we should. It was meant to be for hustlers alone. No, because the rating. If this is going to be a collateral, it should be for everybody.
But if there's a rating, Madam PS,
yes,
there's a scoring involved.
Yes.
And with the scoring, you report.
Yes.
Are we saying that this process was intended to have us create a scoring system that meets the needs of Kenyans and a reporting system that is also takes into account positive reporting? Because
absolutely. Now that's where you nail it. So a rating system shows those who have excelled, those who still requires improvement, and those who are still lagging behind. So that's where we are, even on the Hustler Fund, you ask me.
Yes.
So as we start applying this rating and socializing, because now where we are going is to socialize. And remember, we have netted, today as we speak, more than almost 26.3 million people who have signed up on the Hustler Fund platform, who have onboarded. You see, almost 26.3. I'm not far away.
Actually, it's 26.3.
Yeah. See me, it's not that like those friends of yours. Yeah. So what I'm saying, those friends of ours.
Right.
So what I'm saying, listen.
Okay, we're listening.
Our friends, So we are now like 3 buckets from our experience, and the Hustler Fund has provided us, if you like it, this was a credit census. The personal loan product was a credit census. When do we do census as a government? We do census so that we understand the needs of our people and how to support them.
Do we have consideration for credit rehabilitation? Because
but we are rehabilitating already.
How are we going about it?
So skiza. That's why I don't like this thing of defaulters, because those are my people rehabilitating.
But they have defaulted, madam.
No, but you see, now I rehabilitate them. I do not condemn them. I cannot run away from them because I believe maybe. So skiza, unanikata, wacha nimalize hii story. So so this we wanted to introduce in our economy.
Yes.
In the credit market. Siti wewe wacha kunikatakata. Unafanya napoteza kidogo.
Madam PS uko na about a minute.
Wewe ngoja. Kwani leo ikuwe news.
Madam
Amata naweza kusomea news.
Usiende mbali sana na microphone, karibia.
Unajua leo mimi naweza kusomea news, unilipe kidogo. Nipatie, unataka nisome leo Madam PS amko hapa anasema hivi. Okay, sasa anyway, so the whole idea was we give actually Hustler Fund has provided a platform to rehabilitate. Like I had said, anybody who you slide, you come back, you have an opportunity to improve again. Because we want to nurture good credit behavior in our economy, to open up an opportunity for majority of people to be visible to the credit market outside there, and to be served and to be judged and assessed fairly without just being generalized. Kwamba hawa watu, unajua hata kumekuwa na generalization ya makabila, hawa watu hawezi lipa, ama shirika, how do you call it, religion, waseme dini, hawa hawezi lipa, sasa hizo tunatoa, we give people a fair chance. So skiza.
Okay. So you've removed discriminative elements within.
Absolutely. Okay. So where are we today? I said we have 9 million repeat borrowers. So first of all, we have those ones who borrowed once or twice, wakajiambia mtatupata wapi? Lakini tukasema ni sawa tu. Labda ulikuwa mgonjwa, labda ulikuwa nini? Let's keep on giving you time, because it's only government which can give you that time. Maybe it was circumstantial.
Right.
So hao ndio tuko nayo kwa rehab yao. Tunaendelea kuwahimiza.
Na wale wanakataa tu wamenyeta kabisa.
No, sasa si ndio, sasa unajua pia sasa si ndio tulikuja na hii rating ituambie, and then we are reaching out to them. We keep on reminding them. So we come up with a policy that say after some time, at what time do we declare you as a won't pay? So once we declare customer. You as no, not before that, we introduced another graduation product as incentive. And we've seen people paying. So wale ambao ulisema uwezi, first of all, penalty limit yako sasa ina drop. Unaona? Because na vile ina drop, uziona umetoka kwa rada, si tunakujua. opportunity kama sasa when we introduce the bridge product,
yes,
where people now are borrowing even up to 150,000.
Is that so?
Yes, we have people on the fund on the bridge product, and I can show you. Sijui kama unataka kuona.
No, I believe you. It's not like I don't.
Kuna watu wanaomba ata limit yao ni 150,000 and not per day, per borrowing at 8% per annum, na tumeincrease sasa. Hii watu walikuwa nasema sijui 14 day, imeincreasiwa to 30 day. Is a term loan. 8% per annum, you'll never get anywhere such. But the beauty with that, you're also saving. So if you graduated to the bridge, you are not as the same person. Banks zikikuangalia zioni kama wewe ni same, because unajua pia you have your saving history.
Yes.
So anaanza kuona mtu ile discipline, financial discipline. Na culture inaanza sasa kuingia. Wanaanza kubuild to you to be assessed in the banks is a relationship thing. It is usually relationship.
Okay.
So we've created a platform through the bridge product that we launched last year, which has so far served over 600,000. It has graduated. And now who are these people that are bound to graduate? Tunangalia, we are graduating now the A's and B's. Who today as we speak, in the numbers which I looked at it yesterday, they're almost hitting actually 7 million.
Okay.
So we can say 7 million are now scoring between, actually more, almost 8, between A's and B's. Now they're eligible for graduation. So if they want to go to bridge product, they can move to bridge product. Now this is how did we grow the limit up to 150 from the personal where the highest was 50. So if you are scoring A1, sinsema kuna A1, A2, A3, B1, B2, B3, C1, C2, C3. A1, when you go to the bridge, you graduate, your limit is now tripled. So if you had hit the maximum 50 on the personal loan,
now you can,
which was base, now you
150.
But interestingly, when you assess, now when you analyze that, and these people have accessed more than 6 billion since we started, and the repayment is super. Sometimes there are days where even the daily, there are people who pay even daily. They actually, we've given them 30 days, but there are people who start repaying on daily basis,
even before the very day that we launched this product, when we were still testing. Because when you learn, you open it up, you see how you can. In the trial, the first day we opened it up like for 2 hours, the people who borrowed about 131 and almost 20 of them repaid that day. So those people have not just demonstrated their good borrowing behavior, but they are also they're demonstrating certain a very high financial discipline. And these are the people, if you break down the data and you see what times do they borrow, you can easily predict that these people are doing business. Most of them will start borrowing from 4 a.m. to about midday. In fact, the people who are doing well on a hustler fund, whom that now we think that they are borrowing for a business, they borrow within those times. And you can tell what they could be doing. And when you break down and see, like, what are they borrowing for? You see borders, you see people borrowing for farming, you see people borrowing for what? Because now the second product, we wanted to understand, what are you borrowing for? The first one, it was universal. But the second one was, the first one was to capture your history, to help you and to nurture your behavior, to give you that experience. The second one, we now start going specifically towards business support. We have introduced even banks there. So they start monitoring you. Commercial banks.
Yeah, commercial banks are there. They start, because at that bridge point, we want them now to start understanding you so that they can eventually take you as their customer.
Madam,
and they start borrowing you against that credit rating.
Madam PS,
are you seeing that?
Yes.
So this is, if you ask me, have we achieved? Yes. How many banks are now on platform?
You've said 5.
Who have signed? The banks that have now signed up. Talking about the banks which have now signed up on the bridge product. we have KCB who signed up. And you see, can I give you an interesting thing?
Please do.
The banks did not even sign up. We just introduced a category for people to say which banks. And even your bank is not, we started with the ones that we started partnering with, the select. And if you say your bank is not there, you indicate. And if it's evenly distributed. People say this because most of those people are not being banked. Now they start being banked. They start having open the account, building that relationship, that KYC ngiane, banking KYC ngiane, and then eventually you start now transitioning to the banks. You start asking for more money, for millions of money, wherever you want to do your business. They understand you better.
Yes.
And then you participate in the economy. So we can talk about around 4.5 million people who we can say these people. Now, what does that mean? What does the entry of 4.5 million people, if they get transition to the economy, mean? They will create jobs. Look at the multiply effect. Their business will be supported now, more enhanced, grow. Then the multiply effect will be they can open up opportunity for job creation, so that these other people who are telling me we borrowed, some say because they have no means to pay, maybe they don't have an income, they can probably get employed and now come back to the economy. Sako.
Madam Pierce, question about now other digital lenders, because now government has come in and this product looks and sounds very beautiful, and clearly the numbers are telling a very good story. But now you're giving competition to other businesses.
It's not competition.
Because if I can get all this, I can save for my pension, I can borrow money at a very low interest rate. Sasa wale wengine wana biashara, the other digital lenders, are you not like kicking them out of business?
2 weeks ago I was in a meeting.
Yes.
Which I happened also to sit on a panel with, I think, the chair of the Digital Association of Digital Lenders.
Yes.
Just a few months ago, they had a very big outcry saying that the default rate actually is even higher than ours, was almost 40%, when they were asking central bank to consider helping them to write off. You see, writing off does not mean that you've lost. Writing off means that your books of accounts become a bit neat, clean, so that then you can attract more flows.
Okay.
So even here, we don't writing off. You see, when you do not write off so that you remove it off your books, but you continue now recouping, what usually happen is that anytime you are doing your financial statement, you carry. So like now for us, seriously, we keep on suffering.
Yes. Because
the last 2 months, the first 2 months which we experienced, and we launched Hustler Fund at that point when the country was still settling politically, in under 90 days. So people had not really settled properly. So now, and there were those connotations which were expected anyway to be there, but again, because there was also good people and who are seriously in need, you cannot generalize and not to do an initiative because you're being too much risk averse. As a government, sometimes you expand your risk appetite, you enlarge, because it's only government that can take risk of its people. So we widen the risk appetite, which those people could not take, so that then we try to see how to accommodate, even if it means graduating only 1 million from this 26 million. The first, like right now, we are talking about the first 600,000. If these people now followed closely, now we take them into serious training, we understand their businesses, we open up market access to them. These people can be the game changer in our economy in terms of coming up with industry, creating enterprises that can create jobs for our young people and generate revenue and grow us.
Thank you very much, Madam PS. Unfortunately, that's
time
the time.
Time
imeisha. Lakini we invite you back here again.
Nitakuja.
a different day,
Mapema.
and this time around ukuje masaa mawili, because we have also not spoken about the other funds such as the Women Enterprise and the Youth Enterprise Fund and so on and so forth. Nyota Fund pia hiyo nilikuja kuijua juzi.
Sasa mimi nimefurahi sana.
Yes.
It's not called Nyota Fund. It's Nyota Project.
Nyota Project.
Kitu mnasema sasa, mimi nimefurahi sana, but vile namalizia ni kusema tu sisi kama government,
yes,
we are doing the dirty work in terms of clean up. Our objective is we support the private sector to do more by giving the first taking the first, it's usually called in banking sector the first loss. Yeah, you know, you are called the first loss, yani you clean up. Ukisha clean up alafu
you graduate them.
So wanaenda huko, so that them they should not also, you know, we are like, we do the kindergartening work, so they should not suffer more, so them the businesses can grow, they expand opportunities. I so in as far as that is concerned, I think this fund has met its objective, and therefore so for someone to claim that this has not done, and people who can talk about and dismiss 500 shillings and 1,000 shillings, clearly they live in a different world outside this world, because our economy is a kadogo economy. Even people given opportunity to borrow even up to 150, they keep on borrowing low amounts. Thank you very much. I look forward to coming here.
Please do.
I think purple is my color. Yes.
Asante sana. That is Susan Auma. She is the Principal Secretary, State Department of Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises. And the conversation has been around the Hustler Fund.